Hello everyone. So yeah, unexpectedly, we're about to complete the entire work of Narnia media, I suppose, on screen. So yeah, thanks to block out the book to film comparisons. Oh my gosh, that reminds me, I forgot to. Oh no, I did have a look. Um, yeah, because we've done the main trilogy, we've done the BBC adaptations, and now there's an animated one back in 1979, just specifically for Lion the Witch of the Wardrobe. So we'll see what this is like. Not gonna lie, when looking at a couple of bits and bobs, it looks like a straight to DVD kind of animation. But yeah, we'll see what this one is like and how it compares. So yeah, and yeah, because in the last commentary, I had a couple of ideas for what else I could do, but yeah, I just want to really select carefully. Really want to go for other media that hasn't been spoken about much at all. So yeah. Anyway, we can get going. So yeah, I just managed to get myself a copy, and yeah, we'll just get going in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, second blue skies is a total sequence versus part of the thing. It's kind of quiet. First book of the Chronicles of Narnia. Well, first book by release, of course. So yeah, CS must have seen this. Is this the English countryside? Ah, so the rain looks like it looks like some of the rain is still, but it could be like splatters, like as if it's like staining the camera. Oh no, it's just how repetitive the rain is. I think that's what it's trying to go for. Anyway, so this is most likely the house the parents used to all stay at. Okay, so we've got a bit of a tour for what the house is like. Oh, is that Lucy's just jumped out the wardrobe? Oh, okay, so it's gone straight to straight to the moment where Lucy left the wardrobe. These kids look so different compared to the other interpretations. I think they've tried to go for like more variety of ages of this one, because the BBC had them all younger, and then in the in the trilogy, Peter and Lucy were a bit older. Edmund was probably like a teenager, and Lucy was the only naive young one. Yeah, so they asking to see in the walls. Yeah, or even the others having a look. So once again, she's not being believed. Oh, okay, that's a bit of a continuity error. So Edmund was just making a gesture, and his hand is already down. And never mind, the production and budget could have been slightly lower. But yeah, this does look fairly good for an animated film. So despite being denied, she's just lying back. Oh, is she looking back? Yeah, most likely. It's like an interesting way to start it off because, because I guess it's creating a mystery of, what did Lucy come across, and we already then see what the dynamic between the lot is like, with Peter being the lead and Edmund being a nuisance. Uh, Not many traits from Susan yet, but we'll just wait and see. Anyway, it looks like the wardrobe's trying to be much bigger. Anyway, that's no, and you're just going through even more coats. But also just looking back, I never, why did the wardrobe shut down after Lucy went? I've never really understood that part with any of the adaptations. So yeah, I should look back and oh, wow, yeah, I quite like the look of all of this. Yeah, look at that reflective water. That is pretty nice. Oh, and the lamp is slightly tilted this time. That is quite a cool detail. What's that? Oh, it's Mr. Thomas. I was about to say, which way are you going? Oh, okay, so he's gone straight to the point of asking about the prophecy, and then he's already reacting because of what he knows or yet to reveal. Yeah, so they made Mr. Thomas a lot more bouncier in this version. Wait, where's he gone? Oh, there he goes, behind the lamp already. Okay, so yeah, so he's apparently thin enough to hide behind the lamp. So I think we are going to go through cartoon logic. Oh no, he's on top of the lamp now. Yeah, so I think this is definitely made to be for probably even younger audiences. Yeah, this is a much quippier version of the story. Oh, he mentioned that in the, well, he might have mentioned it in all of it, just saying how he should learn geography. Yep, so clarifying about the ongoing winter. So yeah, Lucy's not asking about the whole Daughter of Eve part. Alright, so at least that will be brief. I say it's what I forgot to mention is that me and someone else, well, it was just mainly my game, Line Witch and Wardrobe on DS. I never went far again because I think maybe it might have been tricky or we never knew what to do with the rest of it. I could actually have a go actually. Yeah, we were fighting all sorts. Yeah, it was like a battling game where it's somewhat 3D and yeah, the graphics were kind of glitchy from time to time. Oh, I tell you what, let's try and find a full DS playthrough. Now that could save you time. But yeah, in the meantime, you have Thomas is taking Lucy to the home. Which we'll do just preview. Okay. Oh, okay, someone has done a DS playthrough. Okay. Anyway, oh, we can see the names of the books this time in this version. Okay. This house looks. Oh, this house is a lot more familiar. Like the other versions where it's like a house in a cave. It's not so much of the case than in the inside. Or there's a normal flute as well. And then is the fire going to be animated? That's meant to be the drawing of one of his relatives on the wall. It's a very explicit painting. It won't stop moving. Oh no, this might make me laugh. It looks like a YTP. Let's just spin it. I mean, the portraits seem to play the flute as well. That's slightly amusing. Neon likes it, yeah, if it were run on cartoon logic here. Oh, let's do the second song. Oh, I reckon Lucy's imagining this because, now it's just going into flames. Oh, I think he's disappeared. Oh no, she's why is she still? Then see, is that going to try and bring it back or? Oh no, he's and yeah, that once again he's upset and he's going to reveal about the White Witch. Yeah, it feels a bit like a time loop, although. She's been a bit she's been a bit still with him just by being upset. That's a bit, I guess it's just like a different interpretation of Lucy. Oh, when he's stuck the napkin. He's taken longer to admit it. Oh, that was enough to speak Lucy then. He has a lot of wrinkles on his face. Like, that must be very repetitive to animate again and again, but credit for trying. Oh my gosh, so that was why Lucy dazed off like all this time. Like even in the other adaptations. Oh, okay. Yeah, he says he's admitting the lot. Gosh, that's a lot. Yeah, I think general safety is definitely a priority. Like, I just looking around before making his way. And then that's all explained too. Yeah, about the spies everywhere. Yeah, just see like all of these familiar details. Yeah, you can definitely tell that um, yeah, they all carry through from the same story, carrying over the same details. It reminds me of the Christmas Carol with Temptations. They always pair the same lines. Yeah, gosh, like how many Christmas carols is there now? And I think the latest one, unless I'm wrong, was the 2011 motion picture one. No, motion capture one, sorry. Now, yeah, now we're back to see Lucy Line back. So, yeah, we're all caught up, and it's still raining. Yeah, I say very quickly, I wasn't the biggest fan of Miss Thomas's design, especially with the striking red and green. They're colours that popped out a bit too much compared to like the more natural colours around the area. But even if I'm not a fan of the colour choices, yeah, I still like the way he was animated, and as like a cartoon interpretation. Yeah, looks good in that way. They're playing hide and seek again. Okay, so I reckon she's gonna go in the wardrobe, and Edmund's gonna follow. And once again, I don't know how Edmund and Lucy didn't encounter each other, like, encounter each other before encountering the witch. We'll see far how far either of them go. It's a bit risky for Lucy to. Well, I suppose this time, it's just trying to kind of go out and about, so she's believed. So maybe she'll wonder without meeting Mr. Thomas again, considering the last exchange, because I don't think Mr. Thomas would want to have her in danger again, although at least had been seen around the area. There go, he tees a cut to the lamp. Apologise too, that's good. I feel like I'm seeing like some of the same things as the BBC with the BBC version, with the similar plot points. Oh, the Queen has reindeer this time, yeah? And yeah, she has quite a striking character design. Just to show this, she's immediately a bit forthright. Oh gosh, look at that good face. So yeah, she has like a more of a singular chair-like sled. He's literally picked up. Oh my gosh. He's a bit scared. To see. I think wardrobe aside, I think him being human is already making her think. Okay, so now she's being nice. Despite being confrontational earlier, could have ran off. That's a bit too close. Right there, in comes the. Oh, a thunderstorm literally happened. Oh, yeah, to summon that flask and then generates food once again. That's the goon. He has quite a different design. I wonder if because of the how different all of these colours are. I wondered if the 2005 film carried a lot of the design elements and inspirations from the BBC version. It's a bit sad that his box was taken. But weirdly enough, so the witch had to summon two different flasks, one for the water and then for the Trickster Lights. And then once again, that's details that match the prophecy. And then the other witch is like, oh, one of them's already been here. Although he's finished the entire box. Do you remember the trilogy where he had like just about a couple? Well, only once. Oh yes, that was that the same reason as the BBC adaptation. Um, although in the because in the original, but no, I can't say original. In the 2005 version, the Queen just simply refused and said, "Oh, the only have more if you get me what I want." Oh my gosh, that's some of the same lines as. So this animation, despite it's already jumped straight to Lucy going straight into the wardrobe, um, but this is quite faithful to the book as far as I can see. Because how many I'm gonna have a quick peek at what the differences are like, on that website, which has been rather handy recently. But yeah, the Queen has like the White Witch has trolled Edmund a couple of times, with what he summoned and Edmund nearly grabbing it. So I think it just emphasises the whole trickster side of things. Okay, some other times. So that is new. They discussed. The witch seems to have a thing of picking him up and then dropping him. Like it's a cartoon mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, only 4 differences. I can't believe the film differences between the book and the film and the modern films. Like there's way more differences. Oh, there you go. Castle by the Two Hills. Yeah, I got the picture. Okay, at least she said about her being upset if he goes on his own. I don't know what to make of this version of the White Witch. She goes from like one extreme to the other. But I think the 2005 version once again is better. Although here's the question: is the White Witch better in the film or in the book? Yeah, that is quite a debate. All the good is that he wants to speak by the stories. He hasn't said a single word. He must be just a listener. Oh, he tried to ask her again. Yeah, that was also probably the longest scene between Edmund and the White Witch then. Felt a lot longer. But at least to try to discuss all sorts. Oh, there you go, there's Lucy. Where's she been? Oh, that's. She did go and see him again despite. Although, like, how long. So, Chris Thomas is like, oh, watch out for the spies, etc. But then, would it literally be. Oh no, like, it would be like a good couple of hours later. Also, that also reminds me of why did the witch, would go around this area in the first place? Was it because of what the spy's been saying, but that hasn't been explained? Even Edmund and Lucy are staying around a lot longer here. and as far as I've read, from the subtitles, so Edmund is doubting the Fawns, being a thing, thinking that Lucy could have made the Mr. Thomas up. So that's another angle to go for. Oh, that's one of the English coaches. Coast. Hmm. Or is Edmund going to be like, no, it's not real? And I think because of there you go. Yep, same reason. Why are Peter and Susan smiling about this? Is it just to be innocent? Oh, they go. Lucy's like all shocked that he's playing along. Uh, Although I guess Edmund is like introduced in this version to be like quite pleased with. Oh, okay. Now we're going on to a scene where he's getting told off, and that would add to the motivation of go for the White Witch. Oh my god, like there's a number of wrinkles, and that's a bit of a weird inconsistency because Edmund went from having multiple wrinkles to having less. Well, now he's just stood still. Although with 2D characters, it's you can get away with having characters stand still in 2D. That's such a weird rule. We know that 2D characters are fine when they're stood still, but not 3D characters. So it's something that's really different. Oh, the professor has a cut in this version. So what's the professor going to be like in this case? And I feel like some of these lines are similar to the BBC version too. With I've actually like really struggled to follow. Because I know like overall it is about perhaps believing Lucy, etc. And talk about parts of the concept of lies, but yeah, it's so complicated for me. Oh, okay, so the best professor is vaguely aware of it. Okay, so yeah, the professor's left it ambiguous, but now they're actually going to go inside the wardroom and see what it's like. It's a bit like a concept of believing in something, to see if something's actually in there, or what, or how belief eventually lets you in the wardrobe. Is that why the lack of belief closed it off after Lucy's first visit? I'm not sure. Also, not to mention the wardrobe door closed on their own, which is fine. Oh, okay. So just with the character on there goes. So I suppose they're a bit like, oh, so there is another world. So I think the professor must have hinted enough about if it was real or not. Oh, okay. So Edmund has dropped a hint of how he did actually go there. So that's an interesting detail. Once again, Edmund's belittled, adding to it. So yeah. Also, the walk this far and then decided what to do. Okay, it's just in the 2005 film, they were like, okay, we're literally just cut out the wardrobe, what do we do? And then Lucy's like, oh, how about we go and see him? So now they're right at his home, and I saw the door is down. That coat is far too big for Lucy, well, too big for any of them. Well, there goes, quite shocked what's happened. Yeah, it's just, a bit dark. That picture looks broken. Yeah. I just felt like a mess was made and then it sort of shifted to the edges. And, oh wow, they managed to fit all of that writing on that letter. They wrote "Long live the Queen" at the end of that letter. That's new. Islands? Okay. So that's a Dawn Treasure Easter egg. What kind of face was that been making then? Because that's who the witch is, and he's catching them up. And then Susan's cautious about the safety, so that makes her distinct. I think that's what they're trying to go for partially in the 2005 film as well, looking back. Oh, there you go. Edmund's been told to be quiet, so that's another thing. Go on. Oh, I think we're about to see a beaver, but we just saw a snippet. I wonder why, why a beaver? Although, I guess they are good again with the snow and the hut they build. So yeah, it's a good animal choice, really. Because yeah, beavers are quite good at snow, aren't they? Also, he just keeps popping up. Oh, he's pointed. I think it's a nice one. Idiot made a couple of gestures. Oh, he has a bag on him. A literal bag. Sorry, when you say people have a bag on, it's normally like a term for being moody. Okay, this is new. Edmund's just like trying to warn Peter of a couple of things and trying to gain some higher ground. Which side which animal is on, that is something that's addressed. Ah, okay, so even Edmund's like, what if the witch and the fawn are on, their own sides and the witch being on the right side. So he's trying to actually discuss a couple of bits and bobs, but I think they still see the fawn as being, well, basically the witch not being good, not, not good. So yeah, they've talked multiple times about being quite a lad in this area. Could that also be a hint of the trees being, living? So the drawing of the beaver here, so like round body, round head, and the arms and legs are quite long. Although here's the napkin, so that's proof that he's totally fine. But yeah, I think the arms and legs are a bit too long. I suppose variations are fine, but I think like if I drew a cartoon one, I think there would be like slightly chunkier arms and shorter too, because they're mainly round creatures after all. Try to be quiet again. That part's getting kind of repetitive actually. Oh, it's all bright again. Is it because they're in a less tree covered area? Was that the point? Oh my god, that's the hot, it's tiny. I feel like I recognise that line after I read the book. I read that in let's see, nearly 10 years ago. Okay, so like a reimagining. Or he's got massively distracted. Oh, it's a sewing machine like in the BBC version. Again. Are there like cover beavers, by the way? That's something I really thought of till now. Also, would have wardrobe, but we're going to go into another land. So whilst I like the walls to look slightly wooden, but this is a very it's like the Miss Thomas's house where indoors just like a vaguely normal human home. Oh wait, actually no, like there's some like woodland themed things all around, but yeah, like I said, it's a bit too human in its design, but never mind. Yeah, the police referring to the wolves, of course. And the stove thing you're familiar of. Given I don't know the beaver names, but the lad beaver he has a pipe that stands out, so he makes him a bit more posher, I suppose. I don't think even Lucy doesn't know. I think Lucy was excited because I think they already know that Aslan's already going to help whoever he is. Oh, I think the beaver slightly mocked Edmund, although he's trying to it's a genuine question why don't the witch try and go for Aslan, try and turn him to stone, but part of me wants to say that probably won't work because Aslan's probably like too powerful, perhaps. So unlike the BBC version, its conversation is simpler enough, just talking about bits and bobs of the current status quo, and then a large part of the conversation has been about Aslan. And now, yeah, so it's clarified that like Aslan's line, and yeah, it's often been called the King of the Beast, as if he like represents the animals, to which that's like yeah, that was addressed in the BBC version too. There's an interesting detail. Or pictures look forward to see if he has done. Fair enough. Yeah, because in the 2005 film, they were kind of nervous about it, weren't they? I think the BBC version didn't have the. Well, actually, none of the other two didn't really have the Beavers and Mr. Thomas share screen time, despite saying that they know each other. But I wonder if they might have a go with this adaptation. We'll see. I've also wondered how the Beavers have managed to be safe all this time, despite not being too far from the witch's castle. But well, the Beavers no trouble, are they? Well, they're asking if she's human, and they're trying to explore that idea. We spent a lot of time in this hut again, aren't we? But at least they tried animate all sorts to make the conversation a bit more on its feet. I do get like a wintry, Christmassy vibe when watching this film. Yeah, just watching the snowfall again, because it kind of reminds me of partially the snowman. There you go, that's prophecy explained as well. We were told about the castle, and we were just literally showing the castle too. So, yeah, so this adaptation is doing well with giving us some visuals to, help with some of the information. I think they should have done that more. Oh, and they've all been distracted at a point where Edmund's gone. Oh, there's a saw on the wall, that'll help them all chop wood. Or they're all running out at a point where they forgot the coats. Okay, so sorry, just in a couple of bits and bobs. So I think, like in the other versions, I think they won't risk looking for him considering where he's gone to. And yeah, there is that general worry that, well, they're just really hoping that Edmund does come back to them eventually. Okay, now he's talking amongst himself, because whilst it is like completely, um, admitting anything to himself, but I think there's probably the kind of thoughts he might have had, like in the other versions, convince himself that the White Witch is the good guy in all of this. Make some decent rows once he's king. That's an amusing request come from a kid, yeah, because I think it's like really fed up with going through the snow. Yeah, because he wouldn't have picked up his coat because it would have drawn more attention if he was intended to sneak out. Yeah, yeah. Although not gonna lie, I think from maybe I still prefer like the 2005 Edmund because he has like that mixture of like the snarky nature and the worry he displays from time to time. I think that's like the one I can like see the most, even if the other adaptations still do well categorizing or characterizing him, um, from the novels. So also, yeah, did you just see Aslan's statue then? So is that what they're gonna have a go with? In this adaptation, to have Aslan be stone as well. Oh, do be careful. Ooh, gosh, even that was kind of spooky. The way that like the wolf just leapt up. Oh, okay. So he's trying to explain that the siblings are, at the hut. They're actually there, and um, okay. So it was just seen a variety of creatures. Anyway, so yeah, I was provide all those details. The wolf is. Well, no, yeah, the wolf just clarified all of that. Yes, I haven't got its name. So Edmund just like runs off after. Well, yeah, the wolf was being quite evasive then. Oh, there goes, she's smiling. Oh, that's the first. Although once again, she's asking, saying how they come alone, and yeah, because the first thing Edmund says is, where are they? The Turkish delights. But also, like the BBC version, he's said this information to Wolf, and uh, but then he's had to repeat again to the Queen. Like, if the Wolf's been told that, why not pass it on? But unless the Wolf just said something as simple as, "Oh, got this visitor called Edmund. He has some news." Or when Edmund even sharing other information, such as Aslan coming back, that won't be very good for the Queen. Which, rather. Eve without bells once again mentioned um, in the BBC version, yeah, because the 2005 film just had its just so they just send the wolves, but used sled to transport from elsewhere. I tell you what, I wondered if the witch with Aslan coming back and also the Pevensies being around too. I wonder if that's like one reason why the witch left the area because of how icy it is. That's just something I just suddenly thought of. Sorry. Also, they send the wolves as Jason sled. Okay. Also, Edmund's definitely regretting his decision as so. Although in this version, why is the Queen keeping him? Because I felt like the all Edmund said all the information. Alright, so how are they? I was going to outrun them. Oh, okay, so they checked the people hut and knowing that no one's there. Oh, good, they're just completely knocked over everywhere. Well, I suppose it's uncovering the hiding spots. I just suddenly realised though, so the lad beaver has like the rucksack, but the lady beaver she decided to keep her apron on her person. That's why. With the snow and the sky, I just uncovered a film. Like I just saw a couple of snippets of it recently. What was it called? Um, let's go have a look for it. Oh, it looks like so they're not being chased yet, or they already found a hidden spot. Okay, so yeah, that's understood. Yeah, because I felt like the wolves would have got to them immediately, so they're just hiding themselves. Well, yeah. So there's no chase at all. So hiding from the get go without too much of a panic. That's a alternative thing I kind of like. Always got a Bunsen burner. Oh, it's one of those devices, not a Bunsen burner, like a lantern of some sort. Yeah, it does have its name. Anyway, what was that film I just come across? Oh yes, there it is. Yeah, the little polar bear back in 2001. I tell you what, because with snippets of it exist on YouTube and also just seeing the trailer, what if I watch that film and try and commentate on it? Now that could be an idea. Anyway, sorry. So despite how, they really had to duck to get to the area. Um, but yeah, it's quite a widespread area, and it's just so the most. Wait, where did the tables and chairs come from? Did they manage to um, like, uh, I don't know, store them like in their bag or something, like a. I'm not sure. Anyway, so it looks like it's the morning. Oh yeah, so they're bringing up Christmas again, but they're going to encounter um, thingy, um, Santa in a bit. Oh, and that's the table of the Narnians, which yeah, that was in the BBC version too. This is definitely a book thing. Oh, and that's the fox, who's slightly bigger. Oh, and even they're all drawn in. Okay, who else is at that table? I feel like they should be a bit like on edge because of the wolves and Edmund's still missing. The table's sharing with squirrels as well, somehow the same size as well. I kind of although I think this is fine, because all of the animals are okay. The squirrels are smaller, okay. Um, yeah, because when it comes to animated films, they choose to have which animals are to be smaller or larger than others. Because one pet peeve I have in the Zootopia or Zootropolis film is that somehow the otters are made smaller than Judy the rabbit. Like, I know there's the short-clawed otters, which are the smallest type and are rather small, but not that small compared to rabbits. And Judy is a rabbit, not a hare. So yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, they're made smaller. It's something I never really understood, especially where they do make an effort with that size contrast. Okay, so it looks like the Pegasus are left that table and just a good enough amount of time ahead. Um, good enough time ahead, I'm not sure. Anyway, I better replay some of these moments because I just blabbered about other things. But anyway, so I think the wolf is trying to, um, just distract her, keep in that position whilst the Pegasus keep moving, or well, even with the witch trying to get answers from it, but yeah, the wolf fox is definitely not giving any answers. Yeah, that's another thing as well. Whilst I don't mind it at all in this story, is it me or do other people like me, get a bit not frustrated, but when we keep seeing the same animals being animated or adapted, across all sorts of media. Even Zootopia falls into that line as well, where I like the squirrels just tend to stay, um, but it's that um, purplish colour they're made out of, so they just look like they just stood still. Oh, actually, no, they are more grey. Yeah, yeah, never mind. Um, where are the wolves at this time? I'm not sure. Oh, I think they're going to be chased now. Anyway, animals. So yeah, because yeah, there's a whole heap of like common animals we've seen a lot of times in media, but sometimes I think why not go for creatures that are a bit more unique, a bit more rare. You could have I don't know, like a swordfish as a character, Roy. See Cucumber as an animated character at one point. I guess it depends what kind of story you're telling, but I think one improvement with media is to try and go for more original animals. There's loads of extinct animals. You could just have them around. Like Steller sea cows or Tasmanian tigers. Yeah, that could be quite fun to utilise in a story. Oh, so somehow the deers have collapsed. Riding the White Witch sled because um, because the snow has dramatically disappeared. It says it's been mildly chased, but not hugely. Oh, so yeah, the deers are unable to move, or the reindeers rather, because the snow doesn't go well against the snow. So the snow must be like rather thick then if it's able to go along in that manner. Alright, so now the goon's tied up Edmund. Oh my gosh, so the way the rope was tied a lot like Edmund's insides were like crushed in the inside, but once again it's the it's the cartoon world, or a cartoon world rather. Oh, well, there's a bird there, and I think that coming out is more of a hint of the the wildlife going all out and about. I say I'm waiting for that moment where one of the characters says, "Oh, it's rather warm," only for the queen to be like, "Don't take that coat off." But if it's like the BBC that came up with that gag, you could say, then yeah, 2005, carried that idea over. So yeah, as I said before, there's probably instances where the 2005 film got slightly inspired by the BBC version, maybe this version a couple of times. Although, unlike the BBC version, I won't know what inspirations the 2005 come from. I'll say that again just in case. Yeah, what ideas from the animated version of the 2005 film got from. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think I did say the sentence right first time. Anyway, Saul Spring in that, and it looks like she just looks very nice. Yeah, it's the lands look like they're painted somewhat. Ah, okay, so that's the table. And then, we see even more scenery. Yeah, look at these rocks and mountains. Oh wow, look at the variety of creatures on Aslan's team. That's kind of cool. Oh, there he is. So does that mean there's another line that's like turned stone in the castle then? I suppose we'll wait to see about that. So the beavers and the Pevensies are discussing who should go first in a see Aslan, but so Peter just decided to have the courage to go first after being like, well, how about ladies first? And she's just like, nope. Not as simple as that. Yeah, angry with him multiple times. Yeah, I almost feel like Peter and Susan have been leading a lot of the seas recently, so proper switcher protagonists. For each of you. Oh my gosh, so we haven't had Santa yet, so is Aslan going to provide the tools instead? That's cool. Yeah. A lot of these character designs consist of bigger heads and smaller bodies, which, sometimes that is an approach when you want to accentuate certain features. That is one of the rules of animation after all. I also like how Aslan's the one to tell them to take the coats off as if they forget that it's spring now. Oh, look at these tools. Imagine if Lucy picks up the bow and Caesar's like, nah, that's mine. Because, having Santa made it more, for each specific person. Oh, no, it is Aslan's clarifying who has which tools. I'm looking forward to the fight scenes now. What will they be like? And yeah, not gonna lie, if I was younger, I would have been like, oh, I would want the sword or bow. But I think she's not only thankful, but she is given something quite purposeful. Like a smaller blade for defense. And oh yeah, as I just said, but also the healing juice as well. That makes her more purposeful in that. But not to mention, if he had those tools ready for the three of them, but there should be like, I don't know, like an additional sword or maybe a crossbow for a fourth, for a fourth kid, considering the four of them were expected. Oh, yes, that's clarifying that to Peter will be the one on top. Oh, what's going on? Are the walls arriving? Yeah. Yeah, it said they've added the music. Oh, that was kind of quick. I'm not sure what Lucy and Caesar were doing all this time. At least 2005 kind of answered that with them just chilling. Also, Peter's not going to fight against the wolf. Like in other moments, there's no like rivalry that's built up. There isn't really been an opportunity to do so, but you can just have a heroic or villainous character meet one another and then see how to um like quickly build up a dynamic and then have one of them win against one another. Also, as Lang was sending some of the his team to try and find Edmund, the bear was doing like a high elbow jog, which I've seen that a couple of times recently in my hometown. Yeah, it's kind of amusing. So yeah, I like it. The wolf will bring good news. Oh no, the wolf is going to be responsible for having an army going towards you. That reminds me, if the witch has such a big team, oh my gosh, yeah, in all versions, how did she, get all of the troops? Were they all at the castle? Like 2005 may have hinted that with the creature coming into the prison cells. So that could be something, unless she would have to really travel quickly from place to place to gather troops that way. Oh, but also in the BBC version, the animated creatures were summoned from a particular location. There seem to be these massive, like very extreme close-ups of the witch's face every now and again. It's a bit claustrophobic from time to time, but I suppose she does have a face that fills the screen, I suppose. It's also like a lot of animated moments occasionally where the rest of the body is still, but the individuals are um, like some are still and the rest is animated. Anyway, so the Queen's just talked about the kind of army she's getting, and yeah, I quite like the way she listed all of the creatures. That's actually kind of cool. Help specify which creatures which and what creatures she actually got hold of. Because in his 2005 film, for instance, like you almost have to like work out which creatures which. So you're like, oh yes, that's Minotaur, that's a ogre, etc. I kind of wish that not only the other adaptations, although I think we'll go for the adaptations. Like explored more of these types of races. Just see how they go about. Because the Silver Chair explores like giant culture, but what about the others? Also, Edmund was going to be okay. Wow, okay, that's new. Wait, so Aslan's side has Minotaurs too? So they were hoping to fight off the witch in that, but it looks like they disappeared quickly. But one of them managed to grab a wrist, preventing the use of the sword. But how? Oh my gosh! Did the Queen and the Goon oh, they transformed from a trunk. Okay, for a second I thought it was going to be like a cartoonish gag where they're like, oh, we're hidden under a couple of tree trunks, so it's safe to come out now. But no, they transformed themselves into them, which, I quite like that. Oh, it looks a bit windy in that. Oh, yeah, it looks like a windy morning. Yeah, it's with a slightly grey sky. Oh my god, they're all stepped in the same clothes. Have they showered? Also, there's deers, unicorns, leopards that are, on Aslan's team. Cool. Anyway, so Aslan's huge in this. I just realised he has another foot on him. More than that, actually. All they have, yeah, of course, yeah, they are talking animals after all. And but yeah, anyway, so they apologise to Edmund, and yeah, it's all well and good. He's animated far too much to send a left message. He didn't stop moving. But you have to keep the audience engaged after all. So yeah, it's not a bad idea. So she just has like a wand, but in the 2005 version, it's like more of a spear. Oh my gosh, how far is she? I just go all that way, and then oh, okay, she just gives it to the goon. Yeah, obviously you look after her now. She has to have a long wander to Aslan. There you go, she made it. I mean, what's she going to do? So yeah, she's asking if he's familiar of deep magic, but I feel like she's almost yeah, not necessarily reminding him, but being like, oh, have you forgotten? And despite the Queen going extra close to Aslan, he's not budging once. Oh yeah, and also like the BBC versions of the BBC try to speak in between, but Aslan tells him to, it's not a good time to chat. And that's probably like the moment where he's thinking of an alternative. Oh, the land's shaking. What's going on? Well, she like talking about the consequence of deep magic. If things don't go a certain way, then the land gets physically affected. All right, so yeah, we all know what they're going to say, but everyone else is in anticipation. Oh no, they've had the same thing as the BBC version where Aslan growls at the witch and she just runs off. Oh, but the 2005 film made that so much better. She just does it. She doesn't experience fear. Like the most she experienced fear was when she got ambushed during the battle. Like there was a bit of fear then, but that was because she knew she was going to lose. But um, there was like nowhere getting out during that moment. Okay, so they're all taking a rather long journey. The woods. So yeah, in the original book, so the fight did take place in the woods when in the film they had the plain mountainous land. So anytime soon he might. Okay, so they settle in a new place for camp, presumably because the witch knew the original location. So that's actually quite sensible. Um, but he's going to make his own way in a bit, isn't he? How did you get that impression? Well, I suppose Aslan has been silent for quite some time, but you don't know an awful lot about him. So, um, because I know he's not like the chattiest character, but um, I'm not sure because once again in 2005 they had it so Lucy could see an emotion from Aslan that was a bit unanswered, until you find out. Check earlier. Yeah, and the land around them is also a lot darker. Really foreshadowing what's yet to come. It's going to be quite sad as well. Okay. So yeah, Aslan felt on his own at a point where he needed some interaction, to help her remind himself that he's not on his own. Or actually, quite looks menacing. Yeah, it'll be a time to stop, won't it? Yep. I felt like Lucy and Susan probably at the most far away in this version. So yeah, the Witch is definitely still after, the Pevensies after this. Gosh. Yeah, and it's all what I was silent for a moment. It's really and I feel like probably hidden well enough, and maybe you could see them clearly just for the sake of the audience. But I think they were like low down at a point where none of the goons saw them then. Oh, so they managed to find the new camp. Well, I suppose it wasn't too far. Does that mean always goes to? We're woken up in the middle of the night being like, oh, we have to battle now. Did it other day? No. Yeah, those were the other mice, aren't they? Yep. Yeah, why are the mice stopping in between? Oh, is it to get rid of the rope? Okay. Yeah, it explains, they're stopping bricks in between. Um, is that the sun rising? It is, I think. Yeah, there you go. I can see the sea as well. Oh, what's happened? Oh, yes, that's another thing. So they were hesitant to turn around to see what's happened, but then they gained the courage to, turn around and see that the table's broken. always spawning vegetation from the ground. Although, oh no, he's about to explain now. Okay, they're just there was like a quiet moment earlier where just like letting it really settle that he's come back. Okay, so he's talking about the the origin of Narnia. Okay, yeah, so it was explained in the end. Okay, yeah, so we cut back to the battle already being in chaos, and there's a lot of animating looping, but yeah. I say not to mention, I feel like the 2005 film was also the only one that showed how the kids trained and used the weapons, before the battle comes along. It's quite a variety of with the different races are fighting one another. Or they're trying to just come work to mirror the lion's movement. Yeah, so that's just the fort. So if it was made of ice, it would have all melted. That's the biggest line jump ever. The guy managed to land without a scratch. Oh, they get find the other lion. What's that going to look like? Yeah. I feel like creating yet another lion complicates things. It makes Aslan like less unique, but Aslan is presented to be more bigger, etc. So um, so at least there's like an effort to make them stand out. Anyway, so Aslan quickly is unstoned all of them. Yeah, managed to get rid of the stone quite quickly. Oh, that's Mr. Thomas, isn't it? I was wondering about him. So he's placed in a whole other area. And Lucy would be a bit more joyful here because, as she already knows that all of them are going to be fine, and once Thomas is fine, she's then like, oh, there he is, let's bring him back. I was about to say, where would that spear land? It's quite a lot to watch on the screen, which is just standing there, you've not wanted to partake. Okay, yeah, she's using the stone ability to, to get rid of those who are probably which is like more in the way than the others, I suppose. Or he didn't throw fast enough. I mean, yeah, we can see why, because she has she gives the upper hand. That's about 5. That's another, yeah. Oh my god, there's already too many. Oh! So there was some dodging. Oh my god, that's loads. He's managed to got a whole load. I guess will it be a giant that breaks down the door? I thought I was a bit delayed. Oh no, it's just that's on itself. Okay. All there's Edmund, what's he going to do against this? Oh, good dodge. And oh wow, the way the one breaks. Wow, that's quite dramatic. Oh my gosh, it's brought them. It's got rid of all of the stone. Edmund's just. Oh, I think he fell back because of the effect of the wand. So the witch has an opportunity, but then Peter's like, nah. Oh, it goes from a line until actually seeing the goons. So that's like a good way of using that for like that 3D overview. Some was stalling for a bit, they're just glad that he's back. Oh, that's woken up Edmund. Oh no, he's gone again. Oh, yes, someone getting distracted a little bit then. Oh wow, another massive leap. Oh my god, did he just like completely push the witch into the ground? And that's made them all stall thinking like, wait, what's just happened? They're all being chased away. Yep, all of the witches' goons. They can go there away, over the hills and far away. I just didn't realise that was a reference, an unintentional one. There we go, got a success. Oh, he did get hurt. Okay, I thought it was knocked back by the weapon, unless I think it was very flashy at a point where I didn't quite see what happened. Oh, Lucy knew to be quick to quickly attend to the others. Oh, and Aslan knighted them too. Knighted Edmund as well. So that's a neat. All right, so now they're on the way to the castle. Yeah, I like the leaves of the trees. I felt like a lot of this was. A lot of it was like watermarked from place to place. Not to mention in this battle, I don't know where the beavers were, because we saw one of them help Edmund later on. They all had the same crowns and cloaks, to which, yeah, fair enough. Is Mr. Pod's spot? Yep, there he is. With one of the beavers. There's the other one. So yeah, he starts to make his way. Yeah, I think he has other things to do. And oh yeah, Vivita was the first to point that out. Yeah, I think they were distracted by the crowd. Oh, the Beaver has royal claiming too. Oh yeah, I think that was mildly the case in the 2005 film, wasn't it? I was about to say, if we jumped straight to characters and just hit credits, it gave me the impression that the Pevensies would have like stayed there instead of needing to come back to Earth. To which, yeah, they definitely need to go back to Earth eventually. Why did he come back? He was already there in the crowd. A white stag. That's I'm I'm not familiar with that at all. Oh, is that the reason why all of them being older, they would all go out and about? Did they later find it and then go back to the wardrobe? Is that what happened? So you can see more of what they look like now they're older. Oh, is that the stag? So what is this white stag then? Could it be, like running about to lead the Pevensies back to Earth? Is that what's happening? I can't really put my finger on, which comparison to go for in terms of its animation approach and style. So this is quite an extensive scene. Oh, they then encounter the lamppost. It's quite a while. Oh my gosh, they're going to like end up back in the wardrobe. Is that? So I think they acknowledge the lamppost a bit. Okay, so now we can infer they've gone off the horses and now. Although they go back in the wardrobe and they're young again. So maybe the stag did lead them back here. And yeah, they're all shouted, "Oh, we're back!" And the professor's recommending them not to go back. Although them being absent then leads to the events from in the Prince Caspian story. But as a language of wardrobe is sometimes seen as its own thing, then I suppose they can probably infer that like it's all in peace with the White Witch gone. But we all know that this is not just one singular story. There's loads of other events that happen afterwards. Prince Caspian, Dawn Treader, Silver Chair, etc. Sorry about that. Oh, was that Yeah, definitely was going to say anything else. Okay. And then similar transition to leaving the house. Yeah, well, we're just leaving the window. Made in London. Okay. Alright, yeah, that was a very brief set of credits. Well, I couldn't imagine why, because it felt. I say this in a good way, where it's sorry. It's definitely like a smaller team of people that have made this film. But yeah, sometimes far less people making something. You just get to admire like how much they've made despite the low numbers in the production. But anyway, so firstly, let's go for film and book differences. The last one. So yeah, let's have a look. Animated, yes. So the film begins with Lucy telling the others about Narnia and the wardrobe, and the events of Narnia with Mr. Dummus are... Sorry, the website's just glitched. Are shown as a... Oh, could he stop glitching? I'm trying to read. There you go. Yeah, shown as flashback in the book. These events are shown before she tells anyone about them. Yeah, that's true. The character of Macready, Father Christmas, and the giant are cut from the story. The pregnancies appear to enter the wardrobe on their own as Aslan gives their gifts when they reach the stone table. However, Father Christmas is mentioned, and the jingle bells of his sled are heard. Okay, I didn't quite capture the glimpse, but maybe I was talking too much. Morgrim's name is changed to Fenris Ulf, like the old American version of Chronicles. Okay. Oh yeah, it was that something to do with, like the two different publications where it was, one by one, but then the books were then changed into the more chronological versions, with Language and Wardrobe being placed as the second book in the chronological timeline. Yeah, this animated version, despite having a lot of similarities to both the book and the BBC version that was released pretty much a decade later, it's they did take a lot of creative liberties. They've even juggled with a couple of newer ideas, such as doubting if the which was either good or evil, mainly from Edward's perspective, and tried to discuss that with Peter. And although I feel like I think out of all of them, I still prefer the 2005 version of the film. Just once again, like the climactic moments, the shots. In with it being longer, they did try as much as possible for some character interactions, and it did have. Although I feel like some of the questions I've had about the film are probably, I guess, like best left unanswered. I think that's why. Because in the BBC version there was like one or two or maybe a couple of more times where Sir had knowledge which maybe thought, yes, they should have accounted for or wrote that in the 2005 one too. But for the animated one is all of which is I want to say I like this animated one a bit better than the BBC version, because with it being animated, it means that you can, sell it as a fantasy more so. I think that's sorry, I got something stuck. What's happened? Where's it gone? Okay, there you go. There. Yes, I'm good. Yeah, and I think there was other times where, of course, because not only is this version, a bit quicker in its pacing, but I really like when it attempts to visualize some information, and with like the character animation can be a bit over the top at times, especially with the White Witch, but at least it would stick in your mind and it would be somewhat engaging. And also, it's quite a bold move to have Lucy go in and out of the wardrobe that way, in the way it started like that. Because whilst the other two adaptations, they, I guess it was, wise to cover some of the groundwork and introduce the basics before, the wardrobe stuff. But in this case, they decided to go, straight for all the wardrobe stuff, to make it, way more fancy, with some of the only house stuff being, a couple of arguments, the wardrobe, of course, and a couple of chats with the professor. It's yeah, it's just something about that which I kind of like. Although I still like the introductory parts in both the other versions, but I do wish they were kind of quicker and more efficient, and yeah, it's in some areas. Um, so yeah, and these versions of the characters are, I think they're quite good. Once again, it's a bit like the. Actually, no, I better not. I do need to stop comparing it to the BBC version. Because even though I think the BBC version probably explore the characters a bit more. Oh yeah, especially with the introductory scene. But in this is a far more like straightforward approach. Because when you see other short animated films like I don't know, like the Snowman, for instance, there's not necessarily any character arcs, but at least enough traits are introduced and how they react to the environments and what new experiences they encounter. Well, if anything, this one in this Narnia animated version, it does have Edmund and Peter, etc. Having a bit of a grudge against one another. Once Edmund's back, they apologise and the role went and good. So yeah, so more of a basic through line, but it still does work. But because when it comes to depending how you approach a piece of media, especially an adaptation, it is fine to simplify it. As long as it's consistent, it's well characterized enough, and just enough for you to think about. And I think there's a couple of segments in this version where a lot of the travelling and walking can be a bit lengthy, a bit like the BBC versions, but although at least with animation you can just look around for what was drawn, what was animated, and yeah, it does have like its own little charm to it, even if it does look like it's because it looks either straight to budget or straight to budget, straight to DVD or lower in budget, but it's I think it's quite good amongst these types of animations. And 1979. So this would have been, let's see, like before the Disney's The Black Cauldron. I don't. I know, well, wild comparison. I was trying to understand where 2D animation was at, but although those classic Disney films have always had that time as look and feel where you don't really realise what year they were released, but although I guess like there's been a minor, well, I can't just say Disney because they weren't the only animated company at the time, but it's like a couple of influences, like the use of lighting and some of the camera work and scrolling. Sorry, that's my my laptop trying to render something. Sorry about that. So yeah, I do like I do, in terms of the animation too. They definitely placed effort when needed. Given enough characters, enough facial expressions. Some of the detail is just nice and straightforward, but not enough to be too complicated. But I say I can't believe how many wrinkles they placed on Mr. Thomas, but fair enough. If they wanted to go all the way like that. And there was a lot of looping in the battle and probably other areas, but it's in ways which at least still gives you more to work with. Like even if there was a lot of looping in the battle, at least there was like a whole heap of like fighting going across this battle. So so that's where I personally can give that a pass. I think it would be a bit more lame if it was just done like between a couple of characters, for instance, because that's where the animation would have to keep varying and moving that way, to which they definitely did. I don't remember spotting any errors. Like I said, I think the only thing is that sometimes the animation can go a bit over the top, but I feel like you kind of have to with animation. It's just because one of the principles is exaggeration, to which I'm not really like a fan of. I normally just like doing it at a point where it's enough to get it done instead of going completely overboard, because I don't really like cheesy territory. And the animated film, it has guess like mildly cheesy at places, but yeah, definitely not all the time. A lot of it's like quite whimsical and yeah, definitely something that would engage younger audiences. But as a grown up, I do like admire how it's adapted and some of the artwork as well. So what else is good? What else is there? I guess the characters are wise. So the kids look more, if anything, Susan and Peter look a bit too old in the way they're drawn, but they're all the kids nonetheless, so that's totally fine. And I mentioned how I'm not too keen on the colours of Mr. Thomas with the bright red and green, but it's something that's so I still like it. His basic design. It is quite cool for a cartoon version, and although there was a couple of things that were also clarified in this compared to the other two versions as well. Like simplified bits and bobs, which made me think, yes, that's why. So yeah, it's good to get a couple of other answers, which you could probably like apply to the other adaptations, but I feel like that's a bit unfair. You can't just say, it was adapted with some answers in this version, therefore I can carry it over. That's not how it works. Because it's just similar to people saying, I know about this because I read it from the book. So people are like, wait, what book? What information am I missing from this film? So yeah, it is just trying to stick to that standard. And what else? Yeah, there's other animated bits and bobs like the snow and fire, and there's other creatures designs like both armies that I really like the variation. Like even if a lot of the creatures were made simply, at least they had rather good animated proportions, and there's enough detail to work with, and they're all quite distinct. And the beavers are still liking this version too. They just do just like well enough with the role they're given. Although I feel like the other adaptations give them a bit more personality. But a lot of emphasis on Mr. Thomas though. He's far more light on his feet, but I think that's just because of the whole cartoon aspects. The White Witch, despite being a bit over the top at times, she has like a pretty cool design, somewhat menacing, and and her characteristics, remain consistent as well, and nothing contradictory as far as I could see. The wolves back to simple goons as well. Although I think there were other adaptations, but I felt like there'll be way more screen time thanks to the 2005 version where, that waterfall scene, it just it was like a moment for Peter to experience some downtime most of 4 seasons to question them. So that's where the 2005 version helped add something. And I really like how this version of Edmund's like more obsessive jokers likes as well. I feel like that's like a funny addition. And what is that? The lamppost being slightly tilted, that was another difference which were kind of like, just making the ground a bit more uneven, like seen more uneven. And I don't know what else to say. It is like a version which is probably it's like a very good simplified version of the story. Like I said, I still prefer the like the 2005 version. I guess it's one that I've seen the most, therefore the most familiar of. But the others still work with what kind of media they are, and a lot of nice artwork for time as well. And in the darker moments as well, like how eerie, how it's presented. That is yeah, like yeah, the approach with the art style, then yeah, that really helped sell the kind of emotions it wanted to convey. I also really like the scale of the battle as well, because the BBC version didn't have that luxury of going like super high on scale, especially with trying to animate a lot of things, and they probably couldn't have hire too many extras, um, yeah, and but yeah, I still like the variety of races on either side, and um, so yeah, that part I quite like that this adaptation does. And although I'm a bit, just looking back, I'm a bit puzzled. Why have they made both good and bad Minotaurs on either side? That I find a bit confusing, because it's meant to be like the very distinct races um, on either side. But never mind. But yeah, like just go back to Mr. Thomas. So other than that, I think the colour scheme is still mostly consistent. A lot of it's very mild colours. Although looking at the battle, Peter and Edmund are wearing like this bright red and blue amongst just um, very dirty looking land. But I think that's like intentional to make them more royal. And I have to say, I do like her when the witch has that snarky look where she's just gonna be like, oh, just gonna shoot to my spell a couple of times. And I kind of like how, because in the other battles, the witch was just yet another fighter, but in here, her turning the others to stone, really added to the disadvantage of this particular version at a point where they're like, we're about to go and stop her. So they've put more emphasis on there, hence why they had to get rid of that weapon. But so yeah, that part I really like. And I like the voice acting is I like it. It's different versions of the characters all do very well. The Pegasus, the Witch, Aslan, they definitely bring their own voice into this version. Although not to mention there's some scenes that go on a bit too long, like the Mr. Thomas scene, and when the Pegasus are older and they're chasing around for the deer. I thought that was a tad too extensive. That point where I was like, yeah, I get the point. But never mind. I still like it as a to make the ending a bit more impact. And they were I already addressed. They're both the Beaver's house and Miss Thomas's house in the inside. They're like the cave or wooden kind of architecture inside. But it's still nicely drawn, and they do their best to make it suitable for live characters as well. As Thomas has all of the books and that picture, and the beavers have all sorts of nice little basics, a bit reminiscent of a caravan, but if it was like a tiny home instead. I think that's all I can say for this one. So I think it is just it's they're very it's a very endearing from time to time, and I can see why some people might find this nostalgic. And I better end there. I'm kind of running out of things to say, but just a lot of very it's not like deep in its story, but I do like nice straightforward stories, and this definitely works as one for sure. And I think that brings the thing. So whilst I do have a couple of ideas, I think I'll probably get into the end of this commentating side of things, because I don't know, because I'm very unsure what I've released at this point, what's been made public, which commentaries and videos I've done thus far. But regardless, if I've because I've got the plan to release a whole heap of films in December, to which I'm definitely saving them then. But other than that, I don't know which other type of media to cover. Lower, lesser known media which hasn't been covered much by mainstream YouTubers. Not that I'm mainstream, but I at least want to give bring some light onto other types of media. I feel like there's not much left of that, especially when I primarily like to focus on my animated films. But regardless, yeah, it's been very good to try and analyse them in the ways I've done, to bring some light onto them and see what I like about them and what I think could be improved. So yeah, it's yeah, a lot of these have been a lot of fun. So this could be the last one, but if not, I might have one or two more left. And but yeah, I think it's nice to maybe end it on this Narnia trek of visual media. Yeah, it's been very fascinating. Because I hadn't really read the books, but I think some of my favourite moments have been the book to film comparisons. I do find them really interesting and why certain changes are made. So yeah. But yeah, I think yeah, let's end it there, shall we? So I'll see you in the next commentary. If not, do keep up for the animations I've been making, because I made them nice, short and punchy, and whilst I'm still planning as I'm going along, and still making sure that it's a nice, consistent universe, and a lot to admire, a lot of fun to watch. Something, yeah, definitely something that's far more engaging compared to what the story used to be like, because the storybook, the novels, and the 8-bit comics as well, they all represent like the same media, but just interpreted and adapted in different ways. But yeah, these animations is almost like a complete restart with some of the characters, and yeah, just done in ways to make it more engaging, just nice, short and punchy, and something that stands out too. So yeah, and yeah, not to mention, yeah, I'm not sure I mentioned this yet, but there's the yeah, the commentaries from the novels, and I've also got yeah, so that's coming about, and there might be other commentary ideas I could have, and not to mention, I could do like some of these videos where I'm like, oh, this is like a real story that happened in my life once. So that could be something, but I'll have to be like selective and careful. Careful's the wrong word. I guess just like worthy enough to a story worth telling. So yeah. Anyway, we'll just start right there. I'll leave you alone now, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed everything I've been doing so far. So yeah, I'll see you next time.